Get set, podcast listener, and be ready to win with your mentor, motivator, and direct response internet marketer, Cam Roberts. Grow your business and achieve your goals quickly with the latest tips, tools, and tactics on business, success, and marketing. Subscribe now and download your free resources at camroberts.com.au.
Hey folks, Cam Roberts here. Thank you for joining the podcast show today. I have a very special guest. His name is Kyle Rogers. Now, Kyle is a group marketing expert, and he helps people make multiple six figures from using Facebook groups and putting them on autopilot. So, Kyle, welcome to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Now, I've never had anyone on before that specializes in helping people, achieve those fantastic results just by using Facebook groups. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started out in the real estate investing niche, working to find houses to flip. And a lot of the marketing that we were doing was old school type marketing, like direct mail, cold calling, stuff like that. And I was really trying to figure out how to get into the online space. And I started experimenting with Facebook groups and just posting in certain groups, like local groups, to find houses to flip. And I immediately had more results than anything else I was doing as far as like paid advertising or direct mail or cold calls, like anything. I was having a flood of seller leads coming in. And then I realized, I'm like, man, this is really cool. I want to share this with other members. So I created an agency out of it.
Wow.
So I wanted to share it with other investors. So out of this agency, we started doing done with you, and then coaching services with do it yourself, showing people exactly how to use groups to flip houses. And then, guess how we grew our agency? Facebook groups.
Right.
Not only were we using Facebook groups to find houses to flip for ourselves and for our clients, we were also using Facebook groups to find more clients for our coaching,
for
our agency. So I stumbled upon the ClickFunnels community, and I just fell in love with everything that they were doing. And I got all my coaching services and my membership site, my course, on a funnel. And I just started using real estate investor groups to get that traffic, to gain that traffic. Just finding the most active groups out there, going in there, making friends, making conversations, making good connections, and just siphoning off that traffic, moving them over into my own Facebook group and my own funnels. And then in a short amount of time, it was just over a year, we did $500,000 of sales with zero ad spend.
Wow,
out of our
amazing.
funnel.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And that's purely out of Facebook groups. That's literally our only traffic source is Facebook groups. And we got $500,000. Now we're well on our way to hitting 2 Comma Club, really pushing to get that done by 2021. So I can be on stage up there, and we're just Facebook groups purely. That's it.
Yeah. That's good. Very good.
So it's exciting stuff. And then so now we're branching out from just doing it only for real estate investors, but then showing people how to do what we did. And that's grow an agency and grow a coaching offer using Facebook groups.
Right.
You can use groups for just about anything. We have people that we work with. We have roofers. We have people that do windows. We have a tax expert. He's a financial expert, and he specializes in taxes. I work with Brian Delaney, who's 2 Comma Club, 5-time 2 Comma Club X winner with ClickFunnels, and I'm in his mastermind, and I run his campaign. In Facebook groups. So we're growing in both sides, in both arenas, very quickly, and it's a really neat experience because these groups are so massive.
Excellent.
You know what I mean?
Well, congratulations on your success. That's very good.
Yeah, thank you.
So quickly,
that's actually how we connected. We connected through a Facebook group.
So quick question about groups. It's important to build a community. What are the steps that you take to not only build your own Facebook groups, but to help build that community or build those relationships in other people's groups?
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good question, because our first 6 figures, and I think even past $250,000, we didn't even have our own Facebook group.
Right.
The whole time we were using other Facebook groups that already existed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, you can you can work on building a river and building a huge pool of leads and traffic and a big audience, right?
Yeah.
But that takes a lot of resources. It either takes a lot of time or it takes a lot of money to build up that pool, to build up that river.
Yeah.
But there's already rivers that exist that people spent years growing their own Facebook groups and growing their own audiences, or they've spent tens of thousands of dollars on ads to grow that group.
Right.
So why not tap into rivers that already exist? Go to these river owners, give value, have conversations, and just post value, post questions, just start conversations, add people as friends, and eventually your audience is going to grow. The amount of people that follow you grow, and you get back what you put out. Yeah. And that's what we're really about. It's called attraction marketing. You put out value, you put out good stuff. You're not going to get kicked out of these groups. You're not going to be considered spam, but you're going to get a lot of attention and a lot of people coming your way.
Yeah. So that's a really important distinction you made there about, attraction marketing and adding value, which is really how you should do all marketing these days, regardless of the platform or the media. But in particular, when you're doing Facebook groups, like how do you dance around that eloquently? You know what I mean? Because you're in someone else's group, and some people are really precious about rules. Like there's a few groups that I'm in. If you try and, as you said, siphon away, like there's a particular person that I know that runs a group in Australia, quite a large group. I mean, you'll be booted out. There's like no chances. So how do you do that in such a way that you're in someone else's group that they're super precious? How do you get them to move from your group, from their group to your funnel, or from their group to your group?
Okay, that's a perfect question for the story that I want to tell you about how I was able to get over 200 leads in a week while I was in Facebook jail. Now, do you know what Facebook jail is?
I do, but I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that don't. So can you expand on Facebook jail?
Yeah, so Facebook jail is if you post too fast or you post too many groups, you join too many groups at once, you end up not being able to post in groups you don't own for up to 2 weeks. Yeah. It's a very frustrating thing. It kills all your momentum. And the Facebook algorithm isn't hard and fast. So it's really hard to tell what the limit is. I found that 13 groups doing posts in 13 different groups each day, it consistently has kept me out of Facebook jail as long as I follow that speed limit and I keep it under 13. But I was recently working on a 7-day challenge and a bunch of projects at once. And I wasn't the only one working on my account. I had my executive assistant in there. We just kind of went over the limit, and then we got slapped with that penalty. And
sorry to jump in. You've got to love Facebook, don't you? Like they want people to use their platform, but not too much, right? Not too much.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So it was kind of funny, but I wasn't worried about it at all because I have my system hands off. I rarely post anyways. I have team for that. I have appointment setters who post on my behalf. They scrape Facebook, they generate the leads, they push that over to a closer, and then I'm handling the marketing and running a CEO role.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I just created this hands-off system. And the thing is I'm like, okay, so I'm in Facebook jail now, but what I want to do is create a really cool case study for people. And I want to show them that I can still generate leads even though this mistake was made. Yeah. And I was able to generate 200 leads in a week. And the only thing that I did was go into these groups, and it was called a friend adding campaign. And you were part of that campaign. That's how we got connected. It was from our friend adding campaign. And what we were doing is we would go into these high level groups like ClickFunnels and then also some of my paid member groups that I'm in, where I had to get into a mastermind or buy coaching and even to get into them. Very strict, very, very strict groups. You cannot siphon, right? You can't spam.
That's like one of the ones I was talking about. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But I just drop into those groups and there's people communicating and giving value. And some of these posts have 100 comments. Some of them have 200 comments. They're just getting blown up. So this allows me to identify the people who are active within these groups and the people that are doing big things. And I can see if we have a lot of mutual friends. I can see if they have a lot of followers. So then I go, and if they're my avatar clients, or they look like somebody who would be a good fit for my program, I'm adding them as a friend. Yeah. So I had my executive assistant log into my account using TeamViewer. Yep. And she would go in and just add friends out of each group every single day, add 50 a day. And we did this for a week. And then out of all these friends, people just reach out and they say, oh, how do we connect? Or how do I know you? And people started coming to us, and it created all this traffic. And then I started doing posts on my personal profile, because Facebook, as soon as you add somebody as a friend, Facebook puts them as priority to see your content, because they want to know if they're going to engage with you or not.
Yeah, right.
So you start to push out those posts from your personal profile. Now they're in your house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way to think of this is if somebody's holding a party or a business event, you're not going to go into that business event with a bunch of brochures and just start selling and shoving your offer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. You're going to that network. You're making friends. You're not even trying to sell.
Yeah,
you're just trying to build relationships.
Yeah.
And the key is to be the cool kid at the party. You want as many followers, as many friends as you can get. But once they're in your house, once they step in your office, and your Facebook profile is your house, your personal profile is your house.
Yeah.
Now you can make those call to actions. You can give value on your own personal profile, but then you can also do more aggressive posts, more aggressive call to actions, to where they'll have that recognition, they'll know who you are, and then they'll take action.
Right. So,
go ahead.
Sorry, just 2 quick questions for you before you move on. You said you have your executive assistant log in as you. You said something about TeamViewer. What was that particular app that you talked about? What was that?
So TeamViewer allows someone to log into your PC remotely. So I actually have a PC set up just for my virtual assistant.
Right. Yeah.
For them to come log into. So they're logging in from my internet. So it's not going to trip up that Facebook.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. So second question on that story that you shared with us. I know Facebook now allows groups to join other groups. Do you join as a group, or do you join as a personal profile?
I always join as my personal profile. That's where you're going to get the priority as far as engagement goes, and as far as reach.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then once they're on your personal profile, then you build that relationship and you add that content over there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I happened to do is I would get people, after they added me as a friend, I'd reach out and I would just say, hey, how you holding up in all this craziness? Because everybody is collectively going through this crazy situation right now with COVID, right? And some people are flourishing and doing better than they've ever done, and some people are really struggling. So I reach out with a genuine question. I want to know, how are you doing? I know this is crazy situation right now, but I saw we're in the same group. How you've been holding up? And then they come back with whatever they're going to say. Oh, it's fantastic. I've been busier than ever, or whatever it is. And then that conversation will just lead into, they ask me, actually, I don't even have to say anything. I don't spam anything. They say, what do you do? Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is what I do. Yeah. After they've asked.
It's human behavior, isn't it? When someone asks you a question, how are you going? Like, you always ask, well, I'm great. How are you? It's that natural affinity.
Exactly. And they say, oh, what do you do? And they tell you, and they're like, oh, by the way, what do you do? And then boom, you're in, open door.
Yeah, that's good. So what's your elevator pitch when someone says to you, Kyle, what do you do? What's that leg in for you that you use to kind of wind them in and hook them?
So I use Facebook groups to get free leads for life to help people reach multiple 6 figures within a short amount of time.
Yeah. So that's very interesting.
Scalable and hands off.
Yeah, that's very good. Excellent. All right.
Yep.
Very good. And what sort of people do you help? I know you've worked from the real estate industry to coaches to taxation folks. Like, any other verticals or specialists that can use group, or does anyone use groups?
Really, what it comes down to, what my expertise is I focus on one thing, and that's things that are going to be more high ticket. Started out in real estate investing, right? Yeah. People can make $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 on a transaction.
Yeah.
So this works the same way with coaches or agencies. So I work specifically with people who want to create a high ticket offer or already have a high ticket offer. Yeah. And I help them create that value ladder, help them create that high ticket offer, and then show them how to use Facebook groups to get people interested in signing up for their $5,000 programs, their $10,000 programs, $25,000 programs, and so on. Yeah,
that's good. And like, if someone's interested in learning more about groups, do you have one that they could join?
Yeah, I do. It's called Trekking Entrepreneur Movement. And if you do a search in Facebook, TEM in all caps, TEM, you put that in the search bar, and then you click on Facebook groups. It's going to show you the different results. And it's the Trekking Entrepreneur movement.
Okay, great.
And I can get you links for that too. It's
Yeah,
kind of
great. Okay, good. Couple of questions. Where do you see Facebook groups going in the next 2, 3, or even 5 years? You know yourself, Facebook changes algorithms. LinkedIn at time of recording has changed their algorithm. People are no longer getting that reach. What do you see happening with Facebook groups in the next 2 to 5 years?
It's going to become a much larger priority of Facebook. Facebook is putting more time and attention into it, and they're really using this as a driver of their platform for their engagements.
Yeah.
If you notice that they've actually been putting out TV commercials around Facebook groups. They've been pushing out ads hard. They even had in the US here, they had the Super Bowl, and they had a commercial in the Super Bowl for Facebook groups. So it's something that they are putting a lot of priority into, and only continuing to grow. It's going to continue to get better.
Do you think people get group fatigue? Like, so many people get invited to groups. Well, I know maybe it's just me because I'm online, but do you think people are in like 20, 30 groups and they kind of, don't engage as much as they should? Or do you find
absolutely. Engaged? Really, people are going to have like 5 groups that they pay attention to the most.
Right. Yeah.
Right. 5, 10, maybe. Myself, I think I have like 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, I was going to say I've probably got about 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we only have enough attention span, but the thing is you want your group to be so pop-in and so quality that really you're creating an audience, you're creating a club.
Right.
It's almost like another channel, like a YouTube channel, but it's Facebook group. So it's like a YouTube channel, but on Facebook. It's kind of how I think of it.
Yeah.
You used to have your YouTubers, now you're starting to have your Facebookers.
Yeah. Right. So how do you make your own Facebook group? How do you make that interesting? What sort of content? How do you give great value? How do you boost engagement on your own group?
So really, you have to give training. You have to lead with value. Yeah. You have to teach them and be willing to guide them and answer questions. And you have to train them on how to be a good community, right? If people spam, you have to warn them not to spam or even kick them out of the group. While people are with you on Facebook Live, if they're not engaging, you have to tell them, all right, guys, let's engage. Let's get exciting. If you like this, like this. You have to tell them. You have to train them. And eventually they'll start to do it on their own. Yeah. But my audience didn't. These real estate investors are not really Facebook people. They don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. So I had to tell them, comment, guys, like, engage. Yeah. And eventually they just started doing it on their own and that grew. The other thing is, you have to have drivers. You have to have traffic being driven to that group. You're not going to grow a group just by putting out content on your own Facebook group. Yeah. For a long time, up until I think I had about 1,000 members, I didn't do much in my group at all. The only thing I was doing was posting in other people's groups, pushing that traffic over to my group and slowly growing that. But the way I was converting traffic in the meantime, I was just pushing that traffic to a webinar. And I did a live webinar.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And so you shared with us at the start of the interview about how you were in Facebook jail and how you had that little system where you created friends. So what sort of system do you use to get people from a Facebook group to your Facebook group? How do you do that strategically?
So it's similar. I told you the friend adding campaign, you look at the posts that are performing well. Yeah. You look at the people that are consistently engaging in that group, and then you add them as a friend. Yeah. The other way to do that is to create your own post that's engaging, that gets a ton of hits. Because if you're able to create curious questions where that inspire conversations, you're able to post value or a long form article that people really resonate with, then you're just going to get people adding you as friends. You don't even have to go add people. They're going to add you. Yeah. So you're going to get a lot more traffic that way. Yeah. And then when you do a post and add somebody as a friend on your post, they're more likely going to accept your request versus if you're just responding on somebody else's post.
That's great. Very good. Now, Kyle, we're almost out of time, but is there anything else that you'd like to leave the listeners with before we wrap up?
Well, first off, I really appreciate you having me on here. It's been fun. And as far as if you guys want to learn more about how to use Facebook groups, I do free training within my community. I help coaches, I help agencies, people that have high ticket offers or want to create a high ticket offer. That's who I help. I go live on a regular basis on Facebook, give out that free training and free content. And if you guys want to know the exact formula that I did and see me sharing my screen and talking about how I did that friend adding campaign, I created a detailed training that you guys can get access to if you join my group.
Okay, cool. And what's the links to join the group again?
So let me grab it real quick.
And what we'll do, we'll put this in the podcast notes as well. And wherever you're watching this video or listening to this podcast, we'll also pop the links in there as well.
Awesome. All right.
Great.
You should see that on Zoom.
Yep, got it. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much, Kyle. Appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
Excellent. All right. Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.